Cheryl from the dugout in Durban North. This is Trend News. World's first head transplant. Have a look at this. Okay, the post is from the MailOnline. Let's just go there. I'm not going to go through the entire article because it's a long article, but I'll leave the link in my post so that you guys can go and have a look at this. Okay, let's have a look at this. The terminally ill man said to be the first to undergo the world's first full head transplant, pioneered by Dr. is branded nuts. And I'd say that too, because I just can't believe. Let's get a little bit of background on this. A man with a fatal medical condition has spoken exclusively to the MailOnline about how he is set to become the first person to undergo a head transplant and hopes it could be done, it could be as soon as next year. His name is Valery Spiridonov. He's a Russian guy, I can't pronounce his name. Says he's ready to put his trust in controversial surgeon Dr Sergio Canavero, who claims he can cut off his head and attach it to a healthy body. Let's see if this can be done. It's nuts. Valery, 30 years, a computer scientist from Russia, said, "My decision is final and I do not plan to change my mind." He says he wants the chance of a new body before he dies. And there he is, Valery. They're going to cut off his head and put it on a healthy body. And there they're talking about it. This is Dr. Sergio. He's obviously giving a TED Talks. You see them on YouTube. I'm afraid, yes, of course I am. And I would be too. But it's not just very scary, but also very interesting, said Valery, from his home in Vladimir, a city 120 miles east of Moscow. But you have to understand that I don't really have many choices, he said. If I don't try this chance, my face will be very sad. With every year, my state is getting worse. Now, the Dr. Canavero insists that all the necessary techniques already exist to transplant a head onto a donor body. The first monkey head transplant was performed 45 years ago, and it was a basic on a mouse and was carried out in China recently as well. Another one was carried out on a mouse. But critics say that Dr. Canavero's plans are pure fantasy. The Italian has been compared to the fictional Gothic hero character Dr. Frankenstein. Now, interesting, the cost of the 36-hour operation, which could only be performed in one of the world's most advanced operating theaters, has been estimated as 7.5 million, I think that's pounds if I'm not mistaken, or euros. The new body would come from a transplant donor who's brain dead but otherwise healthy. And here's a picture of the procedure they're gonna use on this guy. Ah, scary. I still don't believe it. I don't think this can be done. Now, this is how they're going to do it. Both donor and patient would have their head severed from the spinal cord at the same time, using an ultra-sharp blade to give a clean cut. The patient's head would be placed on the donor's body and attached using what Canavero calls the magic ingredient, a glue-like substance called polyurethane glycol, to fuse the two ends of the spinal cord together. Now, interesting, the muscles and the blood supply would be stitched up before the patient is put into a coma for 4 weeks to stop them from moving while the head and body heal together. When they wake, the patient should be able to move, feel his face, and even speak with some voice. Powerful, drugs would stop the new body from being rejected. Valery was diagnosed with the rare muscle wasting condition, Werding-Hoffmann disease, at the age of 9. Typically, the disease progresses every year. He told the MailOnline, I can hardly control my body now. I feel I need help every day, every minute. I'm now 30 years old, although people rarely live to more than 20 with this disease. As I said, I'm not going to go through this entire article. It's a long article. You can come and read it. I'll have it in my post, but I will just end off with this. In 1970, Dr. Rupert White transplanted the head of one monkey onto the body of another at the Case Western Reserve University School of Medicine. The monkey died after 8 days because the head rejected the body. The body rejected the head. The monkey was unable to breathe on its own. The animal could not move because the spinal cord were not connected. Another doctor says White's research does not provide evidence that a human head transplant can work. He told CNN it's a 45-year-old reference in a primate, and there's no evidence that the spinal cord I can't pronounce that functionally. He says there's not enough evidence for this, and Dr. Sergio couldn't be reach for that comment. But I'm gonna, as you say, come and have a look at this post. Come read about it. It's gonna happen, yeah. And let's just see if this happens. I don't believe it. I just think this is an impossible operation. I've never seen it or heard it. It's kind of like science fiction. I'm perplexed by it. I don't know how a person can do this. How does a person just take a head and transplant it onto another person's body? Never heard of this. I personally think it can't be done, but we'll see. They've done this on rats and animals and that sort of thing, but hey, I'd be interested in your comments on this one. Sean Fitzgerald from the dugout in Durban North. This is Trend News. Good day.